So here's one simple tip that's going to get you hitting consistent one-handed topspin backhands. Now, to help me demonstrate this technique, I've got the Topspin Pro here. To get your own for at-home practice, just use my link. It's in the description. I'm also going to pin it in the first comment. Here's the technique. When you do your unit turn and you take your racket back, I want you to be able to balance a coin on the edge of the racket. Rather than turning like this, where the strings are facing the sky, I want you to take your racket back like Musetti or like Tsitsipas. They have their racket so that the strings are facing directly off to the side and you could balance a coin on the edge. Now, the way you practice this is by having a high back elbow. The racket will be straight up and down. A high back elbow keeps the racket up. Once that elbow drops, that's when the racket face opens. The reason having your racket in this position is going to help you hit better and more consistent one-handed backhands is from this position, it's very easy to just close the racket, meaning my strings tilt down, which makes it very easy to hit topspin. Isn't that cool? With the Topspin Pro, you can just see the ball spinning. So it verifies that you're hitting the ball correctly. So practice this. Take your racket back vertically with the back elbow up, and then from here, tilt your strings down toward the ground and then spin up the back of the ball. Now, there is a way you can practice this with a mirror. See, most players, when they turn for a one-handed backhand, their mirror is like this. They're reflecting the sky. When you are at home practicing on your Topspin Pro, remember my link is in the description and pinned in the first comment, grab one. When you turn, you should reflect on a one-handed backhand the wall. From here, you then reflect the ground. Once you go from the wall to reflecting the ground, then you'll be able to spin up the back of the ball. Reflect the wall, reflect the ground, then you'll spin up the back. See, the reason players struggle typically on a one-handed backhand is they don't close the racket face. Closing the racket face means prior to contact, your strings are tilted down. That's what leads to a consistent contact where your strings are now facing forward. On a one-handed topspin backhand, at contact, we either want the racket straight up and down, or with enough racket speed, enough compression against the ball, we can be going up with a slightly closed face, a few degrees closed, as we strike the ball. That's what's putting topspin on the ball. If you're the type of player who turns with the racket open, as you drop the racket, it's hard to close. The racket at the bottom of the swing could balance a coin on the edge. And that means when you get to the ball or the racket's wide open, the ball's going to go over the fence, or you might try to roll. And if you feel this in your backhand, this is why, you might try to roll the racket to try to time it perfectly. And sometimes you do, and sometimes it's an amazing shot. You time it beautifully. You're like, man, why can't I do that every time? Because you can't. Because it takes too much timing and athleticism to just have this perfect turn of the racket and to hit the ball perfectly at the correct moment. Instead, practice this high back elbow. Practice with the mirror facing to the side, then facing to the ground, and then spinning up the back of the ball becomes so much easier. So let me hit a couple. Always add a split step, by the way, when you are shadow swinging. Right here, not like this. Watch my elbow. High back elbow. My strings are facing to the side, then facing to the ground. I can't wait to read the comments. Well, Roger Federer turns open. It's like, yeah, he does, doesn't he? We're not as athletic as Roger Federer. James Blake turned open. James Blake was like this. I mean, if you want to turn like this, then good for you. And I love James Blake growing up, but the chances of being as athletic and becoming number 4 in the world like James Blake, pretty low in being able to square the racket up against the back of the ball. So we need to work within the confines of our athleticism and the amount of practice time we're able to be on court. I'll show you from the back. Watch my racket. Just like Musetti, just like Tsitsipas, straight up and down. Straight up and down, closed. Now, the best way to practice these techniques is at home with a Topspin Pro. You can get a Topspin Pro using my link in the description. I'm also going to pin it in the first comment. I absolutely love the Topspin Pro, and I know you will too. And if you're looking for people in your local area to play matches against or practice with, maybe you want to find a local league at your level, or you want to find a coach who's close to you who can help you with your game, then use my link for PlayYourCourt, and it's playyourcourt.com/2minutetennis. When you use my link to sign up, you get 50% off. Get a mirror, get your Topspin Pro out, and practice the idea of strings to the side, strings toward the ground, and then swing up for topspin. You use this technique, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.